Bill Beardall is the Executive Director of the Equal Justice Center, and he has practiced as a civil rights and employment lawyer for low-income clients since 1978. Throughout his career, he has spearheaded numerous cases and campaigns to improve public justice for the poor.
My name is Bill Beardall. I'm the Executive Director of the Equal Justice Center. I've represented low-income working people for more than 30 years, and I'm a clinical professor of law at the University of Texas Law School, where I direct the Transnational Worker Rights Clinic. Through these organizations and for the last 3 decades, I've provided representation to U.S. citizens, to work-authorized immigrants, and to undocumented immigrants, primarily on recovery of unpaid wages and enforcement of other fundamental labor laws. Today, I'd like to focus on 3 key points about an additional way in which federal programs have failed to support the job opportunities, wages, and working conditions for U.S. workers, not only in guest worker programs, but in the broader labor market. First, our federal government's failure to enforce wage laws and other employment protections for all workers has had the effect of increasing the exploitation of undocumented workers and thereby depressing the wages, working conditions, and job opportunities for U.S. workers. Second, the best and most immediately available method we have to sustain job opportunities and wages for U.S. workers is to ensure that the wage laws and other labor protections are fully enforced for all workers, regardless of their immigration status. Third, future immigration reform legislation and guest worker policies are doomed to fail U.S. workers if they don't include full labor protections and full ability to enforce those labor protections for all workers, regardless of their immigration status. The failure to enforce our labor, employment, and employment laws has created an ironic incentive for unscrupulous employers to actually prefer hiring undocumented workers over U.S. workers. The main reason so many employers prefer hiring undocumented workers is because, in the absence of effective federal enforcement of worker protections, employers know their undocumented workers are easier to exploit and easier to intimidate into silence. I've provided the committee with a graphic illustration of the way that this exploitation and intimidation work in the form of an audio recording. It is attached, a transcript is attached to my written testimony, and the committee has the audio recording. The recording is a voice message left by an employer for a worker whose name is Gabriel. The employer had failed to pay Gabriel for his labor on a home construction job. The worker, Gabriel, had merely returned to the work site looking for the employer, hoping to get paid the money he was owed. And I want to just read this brief message, but I want to apologize in advance for the foul language used by the employer, though it does capture the menacing nature of the recording in this type of intimidation. And I'm quoting from the recording now. Gabriel, it's employer name. I just got a call from the homeowners of the house that y'all did work at, and they said you went by looking for money. Gabriel, if you ever effing do that again, I will turn your effing brown A into INS, and I will personally escort you to the GD border. F with me anymore, and I'm going to ruin you, Gabriel. Don't F with me anymore. You go back to that house, and I swear to God, I will take this to the next level, and I will turn you into the sheriff's department. Good luck on getting any more money. That's the end of the message. The recording helps to illustrate how some employers use the workers' undocumented status to exploit them. It illustrates why so many employers hire undocumented workers over U.S. workers who would not be so subject to this kind of intimidation and exploitation. And it illustrates the grave need for more vigorous enforcement of our wage laws and employment protections for all workers, documented and undocumented. And that's essential if we ever hope to uphold the basic employment rights and opportunities for U.S. workers. Thank you.